as if the Dallas Cowboys could possibly afford to lose options that could possibly help our secondary. And I'm going to be honest, man, this time we deserve it because I have a huge issue with something that we did that led up to the Dallas Cowboys just now losing out on a fan favorite from this past training camp and preseason in Zion Childress. I got bad news, y'all, but there could be a potential option on the market, even though I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Let's get right into it and be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content on the regular, like every single day, bro. Like literally. Ask people in the comments. Man, shut your up. Okay, you can see here the Houston Texans have signed defensive back New Caney graduate Zion Childress off of the Dallas Cowboys practice squad. And I'm going to be completely honest. We deserve this one because for some reason, and this one doesn't kind of make sense for me. This doesn't really jive for me. And this may be some Matt Eberflus cooking. And if that is the case, man, Matt Eberflus, this defense better show up at some point this season or bro, I'm going to firmly be on the he's not the right guy train. Matt Eberflus decided to bring in Reddy Stewart and Trequezie Bridges from the Chicago Bears at the conclusion of the preseason period after they were cut from other people's teams because they weren't good enough to stay on that team, right? So they came to the Cowboys with one of those guys having a direct connection with Matt Eberflus from last season with the Chicago Bears defense, the job he got fired from, by the way. The consequence of that was the Dallas Cowboys losing one Israel Mukuamu to free agency because we couldn't afford to keep him on the roster because, of course, we had to go ahead and sign two guys from outside the building that, quite frankly, haven't shown us anything. And quite frankly, they haven't been all that great in the regular season so far. Reddy Stewart, he had a decent showing his first game, but there was plenty of busted coverages and situations where, man, you really want better from him as well. Even though I know it's kind of messed up to say this. He may be our best corner right now, the way all the other boys is playing. So maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on young Reddy. But I'm being hard because I'm very frustrated that we did not get a chance to actually see Zion Childress get meaningful snaps in this defense at a time where the secondary is absolutely devastated right now. We have no other options. Trevon Diggs is playing on half of a kneecap right now. Deron Bland foot can't stay healthy. And then we got a whole slew of other guys on the injury report, and Kyer Elam. Don't get me started on how my guy Kyer Elam has been looking so far this season. Now, I hope he has time to turn it around, but so far, he looks absolutely lost out there playing defense for the Cowboys, especially in all them zone coverages. He looks lost. He looks like a lot of the times he don't know what he's supposed to be doing within the coverage, or he thinks the coverage is something else. So I don't know what's going on with Kyer Elam with that. So there was plenty of opportunity to get Zion Childress, a guy who has flashed all throughout training camp and a guy who played damn well during the preseason as well in man and in zone coverage. There was plenty of opportunities to get on the field, but guess what? Now you can't. The Houston Texans saw what a lot of us who are really, really in the trenches with the weeds with this thing, with the football stuff, a lot of us saw in Zion Childress. This is a hard-nosed football player. He has a supreme understanding of defenses, where guys are supposed to be, and a lot of that is because he played quarterback. He played on offense. He played all the multiple defensive back positions, so he has a supreme IQ level as it pertains to an understanding of how to play concepts and stuff like that. So that's one of the main things I loved about Zion Childress is you could actually see his understanding of defenses through how he played. And he played physically. He played just like I know DeMeco Ryans and that Houston Texans staff is going to love him to play like. And the reason the Houston Texans had to make this move and they had to come poach the Cowboys guy, because damn, out of all the teams, the first squad they go to is the Cowboys to go poach Zion Childress. And it hurts because I know we're probably going to end up hearing this freaking dude's name all season long, and I hope nothing but the best for him. But we're going to hear his name all season freaking long, bro, and it's going to really, really suck because I really felt like the safeties and the secondary that we have in place right now, all those guys are progress stoppers, y'all. Those dudes are progress stoppers. Trevon Diggs, at this point in his career, he's not going to get any better than what we saw him in 2022. Trevon Diggs is doing nothing but going down now at this point in his career. And he's not even playing well, but he's still going south right now. DaRon Bland, he's good, but he can't stay on the field. And he's kind of limited to the type of receivers you want him covering, to be honest. You really don't want DB on those big, strong guys, the A.J. Brown types or the DK Metcalf. You don't want DB on them type of dudes. I'm just being real. And then don't get me started on the safeties. There's absolutely no reason to have those safeties in the backfield right now. To me, the safeties are to our defense what Joe Flacco is to the Cleveland Browns offense. It's like, why? Why? The dude's 40. You know you're not going to build anything around him. You know you're not going to have him for more than a season, maybe. Why have him back there? And I have the same gripe with guys like Donovan Wilson. I think he's like on the last year of his deal. Why did we vote him a captain? Why do we put so much trust in him to where it's like he can't lose his job? He's immune to having to go on the bench. What has Donovan Wilson done in his career? What pictures does he own of somebody's wife to where they are afraid to discipline Donovan Wilson when we can see it? Even if you don't understand exactly what people's coverages are and blah, 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 blah. Man, you know the base concepts and base rules of these coverages, bro. And Dono is busting a lot of these joints. Kyer Elam is busted a lot of these joints. Malik Hooker is busted coverages as well at times. So it's like we don't have a secondary where any of these guys should be embedded into that spot. So why not give a guy like a Zion Childress a legitimate shot and actually sign him to the 53-man so this type of thing doesn't happen? Protect your assets. And that's one thing that's kind of bothered me. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, the whole Tre'Quezi Bridges and Reddy Stewart thing really bothered me because I feel like you didn't make those guys compete like you made everyone else compete, Brian Schottenheimer. You've been banging the drum of competition, but you allow those guys to come in and immediately get playing time and not really have to fight for it. You didn't give guys like a Zion Childress that shot. You didn't give who was the other guy during the preseason who was starting at the nickel spot. You didn't give that guy a shot. You gave these two outsiders a shot before you gave guys who's been competing in your program all offseason long a shot, bro. And now you just lost somebody that could very well end up being a serious piece for your defense down the road because this is a dude that has a superior understanding. Even if athletically he's not going to bring anything to the game that maybe some of the other top flight athletes are not going to bring. And honestly, he kind of does with the physicality he plays with. You don't really see guys that sacrifice their body like that and tackle for real, not just shoulder tackling, knows how to really tackle, especially at that size. But he has a superior understanding and IQ as it pertains to how to play football. So you are getting something out of him that you're not getting out of guys that may even be starting right now. I can tell you right now, I think Zion Childress will probably have a better grasp of how to conceptually play defense than Donovan Wilson does right now. I really honestly believe that. I honestly believe that based on this dude's pedigree, his background, and how he's shown us he plays football, even at the NFL level, even though it's preseason, he showed us, hey, I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not going to be a liability out here, regardless of what you're asking me to do, whether it's cover or come up and tackle. In fact, I'm going to be an asset, especially when it comes to me coming up and tackling. Those DB blitzes that you sent Trevon and DaRon Bland on in week 1 against Jalen Hurts, you know who would have actually made that tackle? Zion Childress. And I know y'all are like, bro, why are you making a big deal out of practice squad guys? Because our secondary is hurting. Our secondary is hurting. The whole entire secondary, minus DaRon Bland, when he not actually hurt, right? But our secondary is hurting. And this dude right here, I genuinely believe he could potentially develop into a starting quality NFL safety. And I guarantee y'all, he's probably going to get a chance to do that with the Houston Texans. They're probably going to really let him play safety. And I bet you he plays very, very well, bro. Very, very well. Shades of Earl Thomas. Maybe not to that degree, but definitely some shades of Earl Thomas. Watch what I'm telling y'all. Watch what I'm telling y'all in a few weeks after Houston had made this signing, and they had to make this signing because they had to get rid of C.J. Gardner Johnson, who is somebody that now Cowboys fans want to go out and get. And I understand us wanting to go out and get him. And initially I was like, why not? And honestly, I'm still kind of like, why not? Because quite frankly, if you're going to bring a nuclear bomb into the locker room and he just so happens to explode on that defensive side of the ball and guys start getting fingers pointed at and he starts airing dudes out, then good. To be quite frank, good. The defense has been wholly disappointing, and outside of certain pieces, specifically in the interior D-line and guys like Demo and such, blow it up. Point them dudes out. Air them out. I don't care. Maybe it'll, sometimes you need to just go ahead and pop that boy. Sometimes you got to go ahead and get that wart frozen off. Instead of just letting it go down and then come back and then go down and come down, maybe you need to go get some medical attention for that. Maybe this defense needs some medical attention. Maybe we need somebody that's going to be volatile and come in there pointing fingers and be blowing up and stuff on guys, because I'm tired of this slow bleed with the defense. I'm tired of this slow bleed to where go ahead and blow this thing up, completely gash us up, jug us a few times, let us bleed out, and then, man, go ahead and give us some Medicaid. Go ahead and bring us some medical aid in this mug, bro. Please, go ahead and start putting the bags of blood back in me, because the way the defense is going, the whole secondary needs a facelift. So if a guy can come in and he is at all anything better than what we have, screw it. Give it a shot. Throw it at the blackboard. I know C.J. Gardner Johnson has talked his way or behaved his way out of multiple situations in the NFL outside of being successful with the Eagles for that short stint. I know that, y'all. I know that the dude's a head case. I know there's a huge chance that it would not be successful. It's probably more of a chance it wouldn't be successful than a chance that it would be successful if he were to come to the Cowboys. But what if he comes in that type of temperament, and that attitude, and that just, you know what, F it. It's your fault. What if that's exactly what we need, bro? Especially on the defensive side. All this nice guy stuff, bro, it hasn't worked. All this playing nice guy and being respectful and not wanting to call people out and not want to be direct, it hasn't worked. So I'm at a point where it's like, bro, if a guy is better than what we have, bring him in for a cup of tea. F it. Let's just see. Because I'm going to tell you something. Letting every team average 40 points a game can't get worse than that, so screw it. Screw the chemistry on the defensive side. He ain't going to mess with the offensive side. You can't mess up the offensive side of the ball. You got too many really good leaders, Dak, CD, Tyler Smith. You're not messing up that side of the ball. The defense, blow it up. Blow it up, right? But C.J. Gardner Johnson, he's a real option. I don't think that he'll actually end up coming to the Cowboys. I just genuinely think that he doesn't like the Dallas Cowboys and his heart's in Philly. He's going to want to try to go back to Philly, even if it's in a reserve role. I think we'll likely see him re-sign with Philly before he does anything. But, man, losing Zion Childress, that really sucks. And even if we were to sign C.J. Gardner Johnson, but the exchange was getting off of Zion Childress, I think we still lose that exchange. That's how much I think of Zion Childress. But best of luck to you in Houston, Zion. And Shoddy, this was on y'all, bro, because I don't understand how dudes that got cut from another team were able to come in and skip the whole competing thing, and guys like Maris Leofau, other dudes can't get on the field because they have to compete to earn playing snaps and stuff like that. I don't like that. I'm just keeping it real. But either way, them cap. I'm just keeping it
calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.